Yo, what the hell's going on? I don't know what's happening, but this is officially Murder Church Now on a Monday night. Let's fucking go. I think I've got it correct. We're going to go into day 2 and 3 of the Natalie Cochran trial. Let's try this again. Welcome in here. Give it a like. Give it a share on the old X machine. If you're on X on Twitter, if you follow me, give that shit a share. Do it now. Give it the old like ski. Let's fucking go. Let's see what the hell's going on with this bitch in Beckley, West Virginia, that has been allegedly is being accused of poisoning her husband after already this Ponzi scheme. Let's see what the fuck's going on. Let's go.
Let's rock.
We're going to figure this shit out. What's up, everybody? Get in here. Let me, first of all, fix the chat. I've also got that kind of weird over here. What's going on? Before I do anything, let me, first of all, get the freaking bells out here because this is an official Murder Church, my people. What's going on? Thank you all so much. Let me do that right now, actually. Let's just start with the damn bells. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where are they at? Floating in space with some bells. And y'all can't even hear them sons of bitches. God, give me 1 second. Son of a bitch in heaven. Everything went to hell. Everything's went straight to fucking hell. That's where it is. It's in the fucking trash can. Give me 1 second. Here we go. We got this. I'm telling you right now. Boom. Boom. There's the motherfucking bells. Let's go. Good Lord. You think as many times I've fucking done this, I'd know what I'm doing by now, but no. Huh? Nope. Nope. Sorry. Not today, pal. Actually losing my mind. Actually going to go crazy and commit felonies. Get the fuck in here, Phil. What's going on, bud? Everybody in here right now. Appreciate it. Thank y'all folks so much. I see a cautious saying everybody's going live right now. Fuck everybody else going live right now. Send that out to everybody else's Discords. They can all suck a fucking cock. Salty Sleuth's in here. What's going on? I'm glad everybody's coming to hang and bang here tonight, at least for a little bit. Like I said, we're going to try to get through day 2 and 3 of the Natalie Cochran trial. And what I'm doing is literally through Court TV. I've also asked Grok here to kind of give me a breakdown of day 2 and 3. But yeah, I'm going to just read through this. We've got a couple of videos here to watch. So it's not going to be something super intricate or nothing incredibly crazy. But yeah, just to kind of move things along, at least when we have day 4 tomorrow, because today was Martin Luther King Day, at least we'll be able to know whereabouts we are positioned within the trial. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Have a drink, have a little probably nothing. And yeah. Tell your boss to go fuck themselves. Yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck that was. That was crazy. And that will happen again. That's happened before. I don't even know how it happened that time. Actually, it happened. Dude, I can't even. I'm gonna go crazy if I even get into it. That's why I'm a little bit high pitched right now. It's like, what the fuck is actually happening? Lord. Whew. Looking through the chat right now. Everybody coming in here. Pokemon's in the house. That's what I like to see. Dixie's in the house. Akasha's in the house. Forrest's in the house. Forrest, what's up, my man? Coming in from Canada. Pammy, love to see it. We got those bells out of the way. We're getting in here. Laura's in the house. What the hell? You're in Twitter jail. Son of a bitch. Elon's out here fucking around with my friends. Baby. No, we're going to go fight that motherfucker. Dixie, love you. Thank you so much for even thinking about me. And anybody that could give it a share, I really do appreciate that. It really helps me out, guys. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. See, if I can't do that, he already hates me. I'm not sure who we're talking about exactly, but fuck them. Fuck them all to hell. How about that? It's Monday. It's January 20th. We're already through the first month of 2025. What is even time? What is even space? What is happening? I don't know. I'm unsure. But I'm here to watch the rest of this, at least get caught up with this trial. This trial from Beckley, West Virginia, everybody. I kind of just did like I just asked Grok, I was like, yo, let me see what's going on. It said day 2 of the Natalie Cochran murder trial. Several key points and testimonies were highlighted. Witness testimony: Stephanie Hamilton, a family friend of both Natalie and Michael Cochran, was one of the first witnesses to take the stand. She testified about interactions with Natalie Cochran, including claims that Natalie mentioned letting Michael sleep it off rather than seeking immediate medical attention. And as we know, after he did pass out, and then she called a worker to come and help her get him up off the kitchen floor. He was unresponsive. They moved him to the couch. Defense strategy: the defense, led by attorney Matthew Victor, argued that the state lacked direct evidence to prove that Natalie caused Michael's sudden illness, emphasizing instead that Michael's health deteriorated was not as abrupt as claimed by the prosecution. Live coverage: there is no live coverage of the trial on day 2, indicating the public blah, blah, blah. That's not even fucking true, so that's already fucking stupid. And then let's go in here and see exactly what they're saying on court TV, because that's who's really primarily been covering it, which is pretty interesting. That this trial from, again, Beckley, West Virginia, which is like an hour from me, pretty small area, had a crime that is, actually got some national attention. It's kind of interesting. And I believe, Tamara, that she did have cancer, at least from what I've found out so far. I believe that Natalie did have cancer, and again, she was saying that the insulin, and I've looked this up, and apparently it is true that insulin can actually help alleviate the symptoms if you do, or if you are having issues. Also tonight, on Sunday, we were trying to get through a will. Of course, the will is wide open still, folks. I did say I'm going to try to get some buttons. I'm going to try to get some new stuff. I'm definitely going to do shirts rocking and rolling. The new will is for a shirt on publiclybuzz.com if anybody goes and checks it out. I believe we got the best merch in true crime. But we are working vastly. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, 5 more names on a will until we'll get a spin. And again, we'll give away a t-shirt. And if anybody is unfamiliar, go check out publiclybuzz.com to see the cool merch that we have there. So yeah, let's dive in here. Again, everyone coming through here, thank you all so much. And yeah, Force coming through. This is beyond insane, this trial. Yeah, it's interesting. Again, I can't believe it actually escaped this area and made it into the mainstream, quote unquote. But let's just read here just for a second. Day 2. This was from January 16th. Stephanie Hamilton, the defendant's friend and physician's assistant, testified that Natalie Cochran texted her on February 4th, 2019, 2 days before her husband's collapse, asking for an injectable steroid. Hamilton offered to administer it for her, but Cochran said she would inject herself. Hamilton went to Cochran's home that afternoon of February 6th and found Michael Cochran on the couch sleeping. She said Natalie told her he had a seizure and fell on the floor. She told Natalie he needed to be checked and suggested different hospitals she should take him to, but insisted that he sleep it off. Natalie told her he did not hit his head. And then we can watch something, which is what we're going to jump into here in just a second. Let's just keep reading for a moment. Christopher Davis, a close friend of the victim, testified that he saw Michael a few days before February 6th, and he was excited about an upcoming trip to Lynchburg, where he expected to meet with bank executives to get the money he had been waiting for from the federal government. Davis went to Cochran's house on February 6th and saw that Michael was prone on the couch, not talking or responding to any kind of stimulation. He insisted on taking him to the hospital. The defense suggested that Michael was hospitalized in November under similar circumstances, but Davis denied he was suffering the same symptoms. In November, he said Michael was vomiting and talking, telling him he wanted to go to the hospital. At the time, he thought Michael suffered from black mold exposure. Davis said that Michael was not in distress before February 6th, the day he collapsed. So they're kind of getting into this back and forth. I do remember this. In November, he was responsive at least. He was he could communicate. In February, he's not communicating after they found him. He's passed out and he's unconscious. Michael was taken to the hospital, but a few days later admitted to hospice care where he died. The primary care nurse who attended to him said she medicated him every 15 minutes to keep him comfortable. She was not aware of his full medical history, but on cross-examination, defense attorney suggested he was admitted with a host of physical issues, including brain swelling and a heart condition. Glenda Epperly testified that he ultimately died of respiratory failure. His heart and breathing stopped, and that his wish not to be placed in life-sustaining equipment. A pilot for a local aviation company said he was supposed to fly Natalie and her husband to Lynchburg, Virginia on February 6th, but Natalie texted him that morning to cancel the flight. They had talked about rescheduling, but it never happened. Of course, we're going to go up to day 3 here. And day 3 was short. It only lasted to like, even before noon. When you would normally go to lunch, that's when they ended this thing on Friday. So we're going to jump in here just for a moment just to kind of see what they're saying here. Again, this is through, court TV. Some of this could be slanted. Hopefully we're jumping straight into court. We'll see what's going on. Oh, let me get the sound up here. My friends, my people, we're here together. Yeah.
After you left the house, what was the next contact you had with the defendant?
I had went to a meeting, and when I come out of the meeting, I texted her to check on things.
Shelly, Pokemon, and Laura, thanks for those shares of the stream on the old X Machine. Appreciate that.
Because when I left there, she said she was going to let him sleep it off.
Did you ever advise her not to have him checked by you?
Never.
What did you specifically advise her?
That he needed to be checked. She told me that he had a history of seizures, and he had stopped taking his medication. And I said...
Yo, I still got that captain's hat. Yo, Phil. I haven't got it around me. I thought I might have it around me, but I still got that thing lurking. Next time I have a party, that captain hat's coming out.
He has to be checked. I said even people with the history of seizures, anytime they have one...
That would not be possible,
need to be checked.
sadly.
We never know which one's damaging.
I wish. That would be cool.
And she said she was going to let him check it off. I kept offering, I would go with her. We would go.
I walk a man in the streets. Oh, when I go out in the morning. Oh, I'm saying this cold is killing me. This cold is insane. It's negative something insane right now. I guarantee it. Let's just see. Just to see exactly how cold it actually is right now. Oh, that's not what I want to click. How cold is it right now? Wind chill factor. -7. It's -7. Guys. -7. -7. Brooklyn, I love it when it matches up. Hell yeah, Brooklyn in here. Modding up. All my peeps up in here. -7.
We could bypass Raleigh General.
What is happening?
That's not what they were wanting to do. We could go to Charleston. She said he wasn't happy in Charleston either. I mentioned Princeton. Nothing was good enough. I said, well, let's call Chris and see if he'll get, the airplane. I'm sure he'll fly him somewhere.
Chris, we're talking about her.
Got all these millions of dollars. Just let him lay on the couch. He's going to wake up. He's fine. Fuck it.
Did she accept any of those suggestions?
No, she said she was going to let him sleep it off.
So if you were quoted as the one that said, I'm going to let him sleep, I think you should let him sleep it off, you didn't say that.
Never.
That came from her, not
Yes.
you. Now, after you left, and other than text messages just to check on
Dude,
people,
it's insane.
were you ever made aware that the defendant's sister was at her night?
Yes. She told me in text message her sister was there and they had changed his clothes.
Did you find out why it was necessary to change Michael's clothes?
She said they cleaned the urine off,
The hell is
so
your
I assumed
Pete fucked
he
up?
had lost muscle control and wet himself.
What was the significance to that to you as a physician's assistant?
That he had lost muscle control, so he needed to be in the hospital.
Around that same time, the defendant reported some vital signs to you, correct?
Yes.
What's the significance of any of those?
Drama. I don't know about any drama. I'm just acting crazy. I would not be a part of any drama anyways.
I'm sorry, what?
I would not participate. Shiraz in the house. What's up, girl? Shit.
Those
Get in
numbers
here.
are good except for his respirations are down. His blood pressure is a little up.
Yeah, this one's close to me.
Anything to be particularly worried about?
Yeah, the respirations are low.
What about the blood glucose? Did you check the...
Never. I don't have one.
So if that number came from the defendant and not you,
Right.
did you ever check his blood group?
No, I don't have one.
So, Harry? Getting in the door.
And blood glucose is another word for what?
Blood sugar.
Maybe that same day you get another text from the defendant.
Just shared your tweet out, your post out, Shelly. Thank you.
By that first line, just like the back.
He was in the hospital in November. He was sick. He had gotten sick. They went to Charleston, and she had told us that night that he was in Charleston that they thought he had a brain tumor. So at 10 o'clock that night, John and I left to go down there to be with her. He was out of it at the hospital, but he kept waking up like combative, but they were giving him like benzodiazepines at the hospital to sedate him. So I took it. She was saying that he was sick like he was in the hospital.
From your perspective, was it the same on February 6th of 2019 as it had been for the fraud of 2018?
Yes, and the fact that he was given medicine for sedation, it was different. I mean, they were sedating him.
Holy shit. Whoa, Slothy Sleuths. Hell yeah, nice. Forrest coming through here. The Ever Giver, man. Always giving out. One of the coolest. Salty Sleuths. I was on a stream with them 2 weeks ago or so. Awesome stream. We talked about some Koberger stuff, which again, August is approaching vastly. I know he's actually got something coming up in a couple of days. Everybody's making a lot of different content, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be covering some more Koberger stuff. I should probably already start getting into that. Yeah, probably this year. There's so much stuff always going on. But yeah, Courtney Clinty and Koberger are not only for shores, but Salty Sleuth Investigates is on top of that. Give her a follow. Fucking dope content. Good person. Yeah, I've been digging it again. I was on those there 2 weeks ago, man. Cool stuff. Thank you so much. And Forrest Nelson up in this motherfucker. What we doing? Me not messing around, son, you know. Forrest, also, let me get you on this thing. How about that, huh? Sweet Lou.
At the hospital to try to calm him down so they could do the test on him.
And of course, he woke up from that.
Yes.
Did he ever wake up from this one?
Thank you, Forrest. Appreciate that. I think we're down to 4 names before we get a t-shirt out the door.
You also heard from her later that day. I call your attention to the sorry.
No, man, this one, Phil, dude, this was a gift from Dan, man. Yeah, Dan got me this for Christmas. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Which I got the captain's hat also, which I've worn randomly. Maybe you haven't seen that one, the white one, like the actual captain's hat. But yeah, no, he did good with this one. Which my other ones have ropes too. Well, the Miller's has a rope. The golden one doesn't. I'm looking at those now. But dude, this hat's fucking. Dude, I popped so hard. Like as soon as when I opened this, I was like, whoa. Like I'm still. It's a good gift.
About 45 minutes ago. Take a look at that.
It'll be a good one, but I'd have to.
21.
Like the rope's what sells it, right?
No one should ever have a blood sugar of 21.
What's going to happen if they do?
They're in a coma.
Yeah, we were talking about this last time. This low
Probably near
blood
death.
sugar that he had.
Probably near death.
Objection as to reading.
Natalie's face. Huh. What do you do? Weird. That's weird. Isn't that just weird? That's fucking weird, right? Dude, he's killed it. Dan's a fantastic man.
Saturday the 9th. Take a look at that.
What we got here? Okay, I'm so glad. She is one of the best friends. I am breaking for her. Sorry to bother y'all. Please give her my love. John and I love them. Never a bother. I will tell her she loves y'all too. Thank you. Hey girl, sorry I literally had 100 texts this evening. I don't know that Mike will be coming home. We stopped cutting some time off. Okay, I just want to be alone and then say goodbye. Thanks very much for your prayers and love. God can still work a miracle, but he doesn't. But if he doesn't, I'm confident that is what Mike would want and shouldn't want to be a vegetable. It's hard to read. It's fucking great.
What was your reaction to that text?
It was, that we are to that point. It was just hard to swallow.
Hold on, because now we're going to go into day 3 here just for a second. But real quick, Dixie coming through the old Venmo machine with a $5. Holy shit. My God.
Son of a bitch!
My God.
Hold up! Hold up! Hold up!
-7 below support group. Jesus Christ, Dixie. If you're there too, I'm feeling you. Like, what is even happening? They're testing us. This is a test. This is a test. I don't know if there's any Attitude Era wrestling fans that remember Test song. This is a test. Probably not. This is a test. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow night should be another Murder Church episode. Wednesday night will probably be nothing, maybe. Who knows? I'm not sure, even, honestly. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Dan. Probably, hopefully. Feral Friday, though. You got to be coming through for Feral Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Dixie, let me get you on here. Did I get you on here? Yeah, I did. I think that gets us to 3 more names till we give away I almost said a television. I'm not sure why. Until we give away a television set. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in the right place. No, we're giving away a t-shirt from publiclybuzzed.com, and I haven't shown it in a while. Maybe there's some people in here that haven't seen it. Probably not. But if you take a look in here, we got some dank-ass merchandise. Some of the best. Right here. Drink the Kool-Aid. You kidding me? This fucking dank-ass fucking shirt right here. Partner in crime. And if you go over here and click t-shirts, even more pop up, actually. I got like Feral Friday Jam in here. Some of these classic ones. I'm going to be making a new one as well. A couple of new ones. But one for sure new one is going to be F and Oath. Fucking Oath, huh? Got an emoji for that guy right here. That is going to be coming to a t-shirt to you soon. Yeah, Sweet Lou, I'm not doing well. It's cleaning off the old car. It sucks. I hate the winter. Like, the older I get, the worse it gets as well. Pumpkin right now, Simi, is holding down 1, 2, 3 spots on this wheel. And I don't know if Kathy is in here or not, but yeah, we're trying to win a cat a T-shirt. Okay. Pumpkin might as well be the kitty priest. All right. We got the kitty priest hanging out in T-shirt and sticker form. But Pumpkin might as well motherfucking be the kitty priest. Is what I'm talking about. Hurt? I think you did. I think you did. And I'm just now noticing this. On Friday, we noticed that not everyone's messages was coming through the Botrix, and now I'm noticing not all of Holly Berry's is, because I see she said F and oath in the Botrix, but when I went back to put it up on screen, I don't even see it in here. Wait, you know what? That's backwards. That's actually reverse. We found that ones that was coming through Kick, maybe that's what it is. It was coming through Kick, wasn't coming through Botrix. Now I'm finding ones that are in Botrix that aren't coming through fucking YouTube. What the fuck is happening? What is happening? Giving away a TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the hell in here. It's a special night here at Publicly Buzzed. Went a little off the rails. Holly Berry out here getting censored. What do you mean all over? What else is going on? Is Elon censoring you? What is going on, Holly? I got your back. I am the number one thing I'm against is censorship. All right, guys, let's get in here. Day 3, 1/17/25. Witness Jason Bowen, general contractor. Bowen was working for the. Okay, here we go. This is the guy that came and picked him up off the floor to take him to the couch. Bowen was working for the Cochrans on various projects. Recalled being at Lowe's. We got Lowe's around here. Lowe's is who put in my fence to finish off my yard for old Gypsy, make sure she's good. Recalled, I owe Lowe's a lot of money. Recalled being at Lowe's when he got a text saying that Mike was sick and laying on the floor. Got to the house and saw Mike laying on the floor in a curled up position, carried Mike to the couch, tried to talk to him, saying his name several times, but got no response. He's unresponsive. And remember, she's not calling 911 here. Recalled a time Mike told him he was dizzy and felt like he had been poisoned. Now that's an interesting testimony. You know, that's weird. Let's see what we got here.
Virginia, Court TV legal correspondent. There she is, hat on and all. It's cold. Kelly Craft outside the courthouse. All right, let's start with this morning. I heard from the construction worker who helped move Michael, the victim in this case, according to the state. Tell us about that.
Holly Berry's been a little too loud.
Well, hi there, Ted.
A little too loud in the streets. She's getting suppressed.
And Judge Ashley, yes. So Jason Bowen, he was on the stand, a construction worker who also did a lot of the work for the Cochrans on their home. And just kind of to set the stage out here, we're just standing right outside the Raleigh County Judicial Center. It's right behind me here. Inside is where this court case
is. You'll be like, publicly buzz, sum up, bitch, fuck Vinny.
Has been taking place. So Beckley, West Virginia, such an interesting little town. This is the new courthouse. There's an older courthouse that's much more ornate. That's on the other side of this building. But inside now things are pretty quiet because people have gone home for the long holiday weekend. So court has adjourned in this case. But a lot of good testimony today because, as I was mentioning, we heard from the construction worker who described himself as a buddy of the victim in this case, Michael Cochran. Natalie, who you also have taken a look at and been watching, this is her trial. She is the defendant in this case. She has been very involved with her attorney a lot of times throughout this case, giving him things to say, giving him different ideas. She, of course, is standing trial for the murder of her husband. On that day, this is in February, she called her construction worker friend who was friends with her husband as well,
I don't think I've
Jason,
ever
and she asked him
been
to
blocked
come over the house
suppressed
because
or
something had
jailed
happened to her husband. So he came over and he helped move the body because he was unconscious. Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of his testimony when he's describing trying to wake Michael up.
What did you do?
She asked us to move him to the couch, so me and Jonathan got him kind of laid back where we could carry him safely, and then we carried him to the couch.
Did you talk to Mr. Cochran?
We was trying to talk to him several times, saying his name, Mike. Can you hear his? There was several times we tried to talk to him, yes.
Did you get a response from Mr. Cochran?
No.
remember his blood sugar is crashing during this time.
He was saying they weren't able to wake him up. They were encouraging him and his other friend. They were encouraging Natalie, per his testimony, to take Michael to the hospital. But she was not taking him. And so he was asked a lot of questions about that as well. But as I was mentioning before, Natalie has been very involved with her attorney. Oftentimes we see her nodding her head and shaking her head no at certain points when people are giving their testimony. So kind of fascinating to watch her involvement as well.
It is fascinating to watch her. I just have to comment. I notice her smiling, and the way it comes off is I feel like it may not be at the best times or appropriate times, but it may just be she's a smiler. All right, Kelly, on cross-examination, defense counsel asked him about
all of that was a
supplements.
weird comment.
Him being that construction worker you were just talking about, supplements that
Maybe
Michael
she's
was
just a
taking.
smiler.
What stood out to you about that testimony?
This is really important testimony because, of course, defense counsel's theory in this is that Michael was taking all sorts of supplements, a lot of things that were not approved by the FDA. He was getting things from Mexico. He was ingesting so many things into his body. So this friend on cross-examination was being asked, so what did you know about what he was taking? Let's listen to what he had to say.
I know he took supplements. There's many kinds of supplements.
All kinds of supplements, right?
It's a good question,
Yes.
Sheeny.
To increase his vitality, to increase his physicality.
Yes.
God in heaven, that
So
sounds terrible.
how many of the, well, do you know what those supplements were?
As cold as it is, my love.
Well, how many of them did he take?
No, thank you.
I don't know.
Well, you were in their home frequently. Did you witness Mr. Cochran taking as many as 30 and 35 pills at a time?
I did not.
You did not? What did you witness?
I never witnessed him taking any supplements.
Okay. So how do you know that he was taking supplements? He told you?
He told me.
All right. Did you also know that he was injecting medicine into his body?
I did not.
Okay. Did he ever tell you that?
No.
I should just play
Another
it.
thing
Fuck.
that Jason said on the stand is he said that he had been told by Michael that he had believed that he had been poisoned. So that was
I did hear
definitely
that part,
interesting,
actually,
to
when I
say
was
the
watching.
least. So who could he have been poisoned by? Was he believing that somebody was poisoning him? We didn't get many more details on that, but that definitely was an eyebrow raiser, to say the least.
I mean, that would just be
The
from what,
final
feeling
witness
shitty
today,
over
the FBI chemist, a little bit dry.
days?
let's
What?
be
How long is
honest.
the time there, right?
What stood out in terms of the chemist to you?
It was a little bit dry, Ted. You know, one of the things that was a little bit more interesting is when he said that one of the vials did not have inside it, the liquid inside was not what it said on the outside. You'll hear his testimony talking about that. But he examined some of the vials from the home of the Cochrans, and he talked about a report that he put together, how he analyzed the outside of the bottles visually and then tested the liquid that was inside. Let's go ahead and listen to a bit of his testimony.
Could you share with us your conclusions that you embodied in that report, please?
So the conclusions that are embodied in this report are that States Exhibit 11, the liquid from the methylprednisolone labeled bottle, were consistent with containing methylprednisolone acetate, which is the chemical that was labeled on the bottle, States Exhibit 10. States Exhibit 12, the liquid that came out of there, States Exhibit 13, is consistent with containing letrozole and glycerol. Those are not the chemicals labeled on the bottle. The bottle is labeled as enclomiphene citrate. And States Exhibit 14, the bottle labeled Humalog Insulin Lispro. And the contents, States Exhibit 15. States Exhibit 15, the liquid, is consistent with containing human insulin / Humalog.
So you heard the chemist there talking about insulin. Of course, the prosecutor's theory in this case is that Natalie injected her husband with a lethal dose of insulin because he was about to find out that there really was no money. He had chartered a plane to go down
even
to
if that's
Virginia,
true, that
we're
they've
in
got
West
the wrong
Virginia here, to
motive.
go
I
down
think
to
Dan did
Lynchburg,
know that,
Virginia,
because I'm not
and
sure
have
if
a
she
meeting
did
with
that,
Bank of
but
America to kind of get an analysis of
I don't
the
believe that
money,
he didn't
and
know,
was
so it's
waiting
already
for
got,
a load of money,
flaws here.
according to some of the witnesses so far. But the prosecution says Natalie knew there was no money, and so then she killed him.
All right, Kelly Craft, thank you so
What
much
was
for
that?
joining.
Hold on. Can I go back?
load of money, according to some of the witnesses so far. Virginia here to go down to Lynchburg, Virginia, and injected her husband with a lethal dose of insulin because he was about to find out that there really was no money. He had chartered a plane to go down to Virginia. We're in West Virginia here to go down to Lynchburg, Virginia, and have a meeting with Bank of America to kind of get an analysis of the money. And he was waiting for a load of money, according to some of the witnesses so far. But the prosecution says Natalie knew there was no money, and so then she killed him.
All right, Kelly Craft, thank you.
What? So, like, they're saying that she was stringing him along also with, like, all these business things, or, like, there really is a lot of, like, I don't think that they're going to, I mean, maybe they will. Hell, what the fuck do I know? I've seen such bits and pieces, but, like, it's hard to piece this fully together because there is a lot of reasonable doubt. I don't know. I wish that was a little bit more intricate, a little bit deeper of a dive, but it was not. And again, day 4 comes tomorrow. Hold on one second. Let me see. Let's see what I can find real quick. See if we can find a little bit more of that guy's testimony, maybe. That was pretty quick. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. Here on a Monday night murder church. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Respect my house.
Natalie Cochran, day 3. Here we go. And it was short anyways, so let me get in here. Yeah, let's get and I don't think it's even that long. Let's hear some of the testimony from the guy that came in that she called the worker that picked him up off the floor and put him on the couch. Let's hear a little deeper dive on that. Maybe he can give us a little bit more insight on how she was acting. I mean, that's one of the parts that I think sounds unusual, if anything. She didn't want to take him to the hospital. She didn't want to call 911. I mean, that's not good. Looking through the chat here just real quick. Again, thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. She told people she was buying guns for the federal government, but in reality she was spending their investment. Okay, I think I kind of understand what they're saying here. At the end of but she had spent all of this money, but again, there's like the point of in the trial where I guess they're saying that he had spent like $14,000 on earrings or something, on some jewelry for, like, so he knew, like, so one part that kind of goes into that, she was a pharmacist, so she made $120K a year, which is a lot of money, a good living, but it's also not a lot of money, right? Like, I can't see that person spending $14,000 just on earrings, right? Like, am I crazy? I don't make nearly that much money. So, let's watch a little bit of this for she's doing time for that now. Yes, she's in jail now for the Ponzi scheme, which she does admit to. Hey, yeah, sure has. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. It's cool seeing you in the chat here. It's awesome. All right, yeah, let's dive just a little bit deeper. Just a little bit deeper here. Shall we?
2020.
Thanks. Did you turn your overhead on? Were you two partners in a company, or did you just work together?
Well, it was he had his company and I had my company, and we just kind of joined forces to work together.
Okay, but both of you were working essentially full-time for the Cochrans?
Yes.
On February 6th of 2019, do you recall receiving a text from the defendant at about 12:20 or so?
I do.
Where were you when you received the text?
We had just left Lowe's. We had gotten some paint and supplies. We was working on a airplane hangar.
When you say we,
me and Jonathan.
You and Jonathan Miller?
You got.
Thank you. Yeah. That doesn't show up very well, does it? Let me just hand this to you.
Okay.
Hand you what's been marked as States 1 and ask you to take a look at the first text.
I recall this.
You do. And you received that while you were still at Lowe's with Mr. Miller?
We was actually in the truck leaving Lowe's.
What time did that text come in?
A little bit before 12.
Actually, if it shows right there, it's 12:21. Unfortunately, it's uniform time, so you have to adjust by 5 hours.
Yes.
Okay. And when you got that text, what did it ask you to do?
She was asking to come to the house that Mike had gotten sick and was laying in the kitchen floor.
And she being the defendant?
Natalie, yes.
Okay. What did you do in response to that text?
We told her we was on our way and started to head straight there.
Do you know, and did you do that?
We did.
What time did you get to the Cochran house?
12:30, 12:35, maybe 12:40.
And when you got there, had she instructed you what to do when you got there?
She did. She told us they was in the kitchen. Just come on in.
Did you do that?
We did. We knocked, opened the door, and said hello. And she answered and said, "We're in here."
Had you been in the Cochran house before?
Many times.
So you knew where the kitchen was?
Yes.
Did you go into the kitchen?
We did.
And when you got in the kitchen, what did you see?
Mike was laying on the floor in a curled up position.
Now, you didn't get a picture of Michael, but the defendant sent it to a number of people. Is that what you saw when you got to the kitchen?
It was.
What did she tell you happened to him?
She said he had gotten sick at the sink and just kind of lowered himself down into the floor using a cabinet. And that's where he kind of ended up.
Had he hit his head or anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like a seizure either.
Was it just the three of you plus Michael at the time? You, the defendant, and Mr. Miller in the house?
Yes.
And what did you do?
She asked us to move him to the couch, so me and Jonathan got him kind of laid back where we could carry him safely, and then we carried him to the couch.
Did you talk to Mr. Cochran?
We was trying to talk to him several times, saying his name, Mike. Can you hear us? There was several times we tried to talk to him, yes.
Did you get a response from Mr. Cochran?
No.
From your assessment of what was going on, did you think just carrying him to the couch was sufficient?
Once we got him to the couch, we felt like he needed checked.
And by that, what do you mean?
He was not responsive. Jonathan actually did a sternum rub on him once we got to the couch, and he kind of responded. He groaned, but he did not. A sternum rub, you're going to come up out of that, and if you're lucid.
Did you ever hear Mr. Cochran on that day, February the 6th, 2019, did he converse at all with anybody in your presence?
No.
Yeah, like no 911 calls.
Did he arouse at all and seem awake?
No.
How long were you at the Cochran house after you moved, Michael?
Maybe 20 minutes.
Did anybody else appear during that time?
Trooper Hamilton had came probably 5 minutes after we got there. He came through the front door.
Had you already moved Mr. Cochran to the couch from the kitchen by that time?
We had.
If I could have that one back, please. Mr. Brolin, was that the end of your communication with the defendant that day?
No. No, we had texted a few times back and forth trying to find out how he was.
And what were the reports in response to your questions?
That he was sleeping it off, or that no change.
And he never woke up while you were there?
No.
State moves states 8 into evidence, please. You?
What is it? Number
States 8.
Are you moving for its admission?
We are.
Any objection, Mr. Victor?
No, Your Honor.
States exhibit number 8 will be admitted into evidence.
Wait a minute. Forgot about this.
Does that conclude the questioning of this witness on behalf of the state?
I did have one more. Did the defendant tell you her understanding of what Michael Cochran's plans were that day?
No, we was not in any kind of plans for that. For that day.
Not after he was sick. I mean, what was his intention before he collapsed?
They had mentioned that they was going to Virginia.
Do you recall being interviewed by Trooper Bledsoe?
I do.
Do you remember telling him that you thought that she said Mike was going to hang out with you and Jonathan at the hangar?
I do.
Okay. So, was he going to hang out at the hangar with you or go to Virginia?
I don't know.
Okay. That's all the questions the state has. Thank you.
All right, cross-examination, Mr. Victor.
Mr. Bond, is it true that on February the 6th, early in the morning, you received the message from Michael that he wasn't feeling good and he would not be working on a hangar with you?
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
I don't recall. I can't remember.
You and Mr. Miller were actually working on a hangar, right?
We was.
And as you sit here today, you do not remember that message from Mr. Cochran.
I do not.
Okay.
If you have a printout of the messages or something, I might be able to remember the conversation. But as we stand here, no.
You don't recall.
I do not.
You spent some time with Mr. Cochran while working on various projects.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a yes?
It would, yes.
Okay. And do you remember going with Mr. Cochran to Lowe's to purchase some products or something for one of his construction?
Any specific time he would go with us several times to Lowe's.
Well, let's say
Lowe's is
about
popular.
a week prior to
right now.
February the 6th. Well, let me strike that.
Like I said, there's many times that we've been there.
All right. Do you remember the time when you were in Lowe's and Mr. Cochran was not sure who drove the vehicle to Lowe's?
No, that is not that time.
Okay, what time was that?
You're speaking of a time when we was working on the airplane hangar. We had breakfast that morning.
Okay. What months could that be?
That would have been February.
In February. He was so confused that he didn't even remember driving his own car.
He remembered driving his truck. He just didn't remember where he parked.
I see. He wasn't confused about who drove the truck?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. He told you on several occasions that he felt sick.
Mm-hmm.
How was he sick? What did he tell you?
It was after we got finished working on a house that he had gotten into some black mold. He would just complain about dizziness and stuff.
Did he complain about dizziness and lightheadedness in January of 2019?
I don't recall.
Did he complain about feeling sick in February, at the beginning of February of 2019?
I don't recall February. I would say more in December.
More in December. Well, he told you he had a seizure in, I would imagine, December or January, December of 2018 or January 2019, didn't he?
I don't recall him telling me about a seizure. No.
Okay. And he told you at the beginning of February, didn't he, that he felt another one coming? Didn't he?
No.
Now you're denying that? Okay. What did he complain of, sir, when he was telling you that he didn't feel good?
He would complain about just not feeling right, just feeling dizzy.
Not feeling right, how?
Felt like he said he felt like he'd been poisoned.
He felt like he was poisoned. All right. Did you witness Mr. Cochran's illness in November of 2018?
I was with him in the hospital.
Okay. He lost consciousness, right?
He never lost consciousness. I think they sedated him while he was in the hospital.
He felt lightheaded. Right? He had a seizure, perhaps?
I don't know.
Okay. You don't really know the exact problems that Mr. Cochran had that landed him in a hospital in November of 2018, do you?
No.
Okay. And he complained to you about the same symptoms in December and January, or December 2018 and January 2019, that he had when he went to the hospital in October or November of 2018, didn't he?
I wouldn't say it was the same symptoms, no.
No? Okay. You went to the Cochran's home on numerous occasions, you testified.
I did.
The bedroom in the Cochran's home was upstairs, correct?
All the bedrooms was.
Okay. And the kitchen was downstairs. And it was not directly, well, and the steps leading to, well, from upstairs to downstairs were not exactly leading straight to the kitchen. The kitchen was still some rooms away from the stairs, right?
Correct.
So if somebody well, let me strike that. Michael was a pretty big guy, wasn't he? How much did he weigh, to your estimation?
Probably 200 pounds.
200 pounds. And so if he was injected with some poison in bed upstairs, a singular person such as Natalie Cochran would have to drag him downstairs, all the way to the stairs, then downstairs, and then through the whole house into the kitchen, right? Would you consider that possible?
Assuming that's what happened.
Assuming that's what happened. There was nobody else in the house when you arrived, correct?
Correct.
With Mr. Miller, right?
Just me and Mr. Miller, yes.
Right. And so the only person who would have injected him in the bed and upstairs and who would drag him downstairs would have been Natalie Cochran, right?
Brian, this is pretty speculative.
Yeah, I think it is. Is that an objection,
Okay.
Mr. Truman?
It is, I'm sorry.
I think I'll sustain the objection. And Mr. Bowen, if you could say yes or no, that would be very helpful.
Okay.
I'm
I mean-
having a little difficulty understanding your
You
response.
can't
I
get to the
apologize, Your
kitchen and
Honor. No
pass
problem.
out.
Mr. Bowen, when you were, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Mr. Bowen, when you were in the Cochran's house on February the 6th,
Yes.
did you observe my client, Natalie Cochran, checking Mr. Cochran's blood sugar?
I did.
She did that, didn't she? All right. You knew Mr. Cochran as a, well, let's say bodybuilder, an athlete, right?
He was definitely an athlete, yes.
Yes. He really cared about his
His physique.
his health, his body.
Yes.
But he cared about his health in terms of his outward appearance, right?
He liked he liked feeling healthy.
He was what? I'm sorry.
He liked feeling healthy.
Feeling healthy. And would you say that he was very happy when he was physically fit?
I would.
All right. So in pursuit of that fitness, sir, would you agree with me that he was taking a lot of pills that were going to increase his appearance, right?
I don't know about that. I know he took supplements. There's many kinds of supplements.
All kinds of supplements, right?
Yes.
To increase his vitality, to increase his physicality. Right?
Yes.
Well, how many of the, well, do you know what those supplements were?
I do not.
Well, how many of them did he take?
I don't know.
Well, you were in their home frequently. Did you witness Mr. Cochran taking as many as 30 and 35 pills at a time?
I did not.
You did not? What did you witness?
I never witnessed him taking any supplements.
Okay.
That's
So how do you
something
know
just don't
that he
do.
was taking supplements? He told you?
He told me.
Yes.
Right. Did you also know that he was injecting medicine into his body?
I did not.
Okay. Did he ever tell you that?
No.
Right.
Like, the line of questioning is fucking stupid.
What did Michael Cochran do for a living?
Getting nowhere.
He ran data cable, AV cable. It was his profession.
Okay. Well, did he have two businesses that he ran? TSM or TSG, whatever.
Yes, TSM. He ran with Natalie.
Did he ever talk to you about the government contracts?
He
What
did.
he say? What did he say he did for those government contracts?
He said he would research the government contracts online and send them to Natalie, and she would work on it and put a bid in.
He would research them, right?
He would find the contract, the specific listings for what they was doing.
Okay. Did you know that he suffered from brain swelling?
I was told yes.
Who told you that?
Natalie.
Did you? Were you curious after he came out of the hospital in November of 2019 what they told him about his health?
Yeah, I was curious. We was told that it was exposure to black mold.
It was just the exposure to black mold. Nobody mentioned anything about seizures. Nobody mentioned anything about enlarged heart. Nobody mentioned anything about brain swelling.
No.
Nobody. Okay. And who would that be? The doctors?
Natalie's who we got all of our information from.
And Natalie. And did you inquire of Mr. Cochran himself? Buddy, what's wrong with you? What was wrong with you? What did the doctor say? Did you ever inquire?
What's up, King Scarlet?
We would ask him how he's feeling today or something like that, but he never told us any kind of diagnosis or anything like that. We never really talked about it Once we was in the hospitals, when we got the information, we would just see how he's feeling day to day.
Well, he went to the hospital on October 31st and came out of the hospital, right?
Yes.
And he knew you guys worked together. You were almost buddies, right?
We was buddies, yes.
We was buddies, all right. Didn't you ask him, well, hey, bud, what did they say was wrong with you?
No.
No? But then he was in the hospital 2 days later with all these horrible symptoms and stayed in the hospital this time for 5 days. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. For 5 days.
Correct.
And you were there with him.
I was.
And then he comes out of the hospital and you do not bother to ask him, buddy, what did the doctor say? What was it?
It was always black mold exposure.
If I may have a second.
Certainly.
That's all I have of this witness, Your Honor.
What a
Thank
terrible
you.
line
Very
of
well.
questioning that
Redirect,
was.
Mr. Truman.
State has one redirect question. In response to defense counsel's question, you said that the defendant took the vital signs of Mr. Cochran?
That's
I
correct.
didn't say that, Your Honor. That's mischaracterized my questioning.
I
asked
think
about
it
the
is,
sugar level.
perhaps, but you could ask the question straight out, Mr. Truman.
Okay. While you were there, did the defendant take vital signs of Mr. Cochran?
She did.
Now, did you participate in any of that?
I did not.
Did you actually see the raw data?
I did not.
Did she tell you what the results of her taking those vital signs were?
She would say what it was, but I don't remember those numbers.
That's all the questions the state has, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any further questions, Mr. Victor?
Were you there when the physician assistant arrived?
No, I was told to leave while she was on her way.
Okay. So you don't know whether any other person took any vital signs or temperature, vital signs, sugar level of Mr. Cochran.
No, Natalie's the only one I've seen.
All right. That's all. Thank you.
Anything, Mr. Truman?
We know that the defendant had a working phone because she was able to text you, and you text back, correct?
Correct.
In your presence, did she ever call 911?
No.
Two objectives outside of the scope of my
Overruled. Go ahead.
Did she?
No.
Were you and Jonathan Miller capable of loading Mr. Cochran into a car and taking him to the hospital?
Very much so, yes.
Did she ever suggest you do that?
No, we actually asked her if she wanted us to.
What was her response?
No.
That's all the state has.
Well, then, in that
That's
regard,
crazy to me.
did you know
To get no help.
from talking to Michael
Huge
or
red flag.
anybody else for that matter, that Mr. Cochran refused to go to the hospital? And for that matter, that he would say that he will never again go to the hospital after his October and November 2018 experience.
He said he would never go back to Raleigh General Hospital.
Okay. He didn't like the hospitals, did he?
Who does?
Who does? So just
Well, to
because
that point, he's generalizing the defense attorney, and he's making a very specific point that he did not want to go back to Raleigh General Hospital, and I totally get that because the local hospitals around here are bullshit. And I even tell people, if I'm having a heart attack or something like that, take me to the fucking city, which is Charleston, 2 hours away. Like, I don't want to be one of these horrible, shitty ones. My dad died of a stroke 2 years ago in a horrible, shitty hospital around here where he sat in a fucking waiting room for hours waiting to even be helped because it's so trash. Now, fuck local bullshit. And I totally understand what he's saying there, dude.
he was there,
He's generalizing
At home.
hospitals. Which nobody likes to be
doesn't
in a fucking
necessarily
hospital. But,
mean
he's saying specifically
that he wanted to be taken to the hospital immediately, does it? Especially that he
Who does?
didn't like going back to the hospital.
if you're unconscious,
Fair
it's
enough.
not your fucking call.
I don't know. I wasn't able to ask him.
Right. Okay, that's all.
Anything further?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any reason to hold this witness over?
Not from the state's perspective, no, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowen. You may step down. You are excused, sir.
Yeah, this one's
Call your next
interesting, though,
witness,
man.
Mr.
I mean,
Truman.
I don't know, dude.
State calls J.C. Stevens.
All right, we are going to call it right there. I just want to get a little bit deeper into that right there. Thanks, everyone. Tonight's been interesting. It's been a fun one. Thanks, everyone's coming and hung out. Yeah, should be doing another one tomorrow night. Maybe we'll go a little deeper into this. Tomorrow should be day 4 of this in real time. So, yeah, maybe that'll be a perfect murder church, or maybe we'll keep going a little bit further into Courtney Clinton. I still want to do that one where they're throwing the knives into the pig. But they also still don't have an actual date on that trial, so I don't even know when it's coming. So I may have went a little too early with covering that one. I don't know. We're going to see. Been a great night, though. Everybody coming through. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody's starting this week out. Now, we've started our week out very cold. Horribly cold. It's insane.
This place is dead anyway, man.
It's crazy.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the fuck you do that?
And it's going to be worse tomorrow, actually. I think it's actually going to be colder tomorrow, which is insane to even say out loud. Like, I don't even want to think about that. But I believe it is true. Everybody, if you're in the cold areas, if you're in one of these cold fronts, stay warm. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. And if you're getting dumped on, definitely don't go out because you don't want to be out in any ice and snow. So, but yeah, tomorrow night, Tuesday night Murder Church, the usual show should be coming through per the usual. Yeah, it'll probably be this. It'll probably be this guy right here. I would imagine. I would imagine. Seeking justice with a share from earlier. I appreciate it. Boom. I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh. Forrest, thanks for coming through. Yeah, you know a lot about this one. Appreciate that. What the hell? What are you talking about, Tiff? I wore a tank top today. What the fuck? All right, we're getting the hell out of here. Now I'm mad. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great Monday night and a great tomorrow. Let's ride.
This hurts.